Buongiorno.
Buongiorno Brigitte, thanks for being here with your wonderful works, and thanks for accepting our invitation to take part in Borders Festival in Venice, in this exhibition, in this really hard and strange moment. And thanks for being in person here. And I would like to ask you so many questions about your artworks because of the technique that I see and the research, but I would like that you start to talk a little bit about you.
So, yes, thank you for receiving me here in Venice. I'm Brigitte van Laethum, I'm Belgian, and of course I was born in Belgium and then I grew up in Africa. And then at the age of 16, I came back to Belgium and I graduated at the age of 21 in interior design and then in decorative painting. So I specialized in these frescoes techniques and gold leaf, marbleizing, and also this was my formation. And then at the age of 25, in 1996, I moved to Lebanon. Why I chose Lebanon? Because it's a country where I admire the faith, because there is 18 communities, both Muslims, Christians, Druze, and I found a lot of values in this country, and this country actually gave me a lot of chances, opportunities, professionally, and well, I have to thank all my Lebanese friends also.
It's a wonderful country.
It's a wonderful country, and with wonderful people.
Absolutely.
So I had a lot of big opportunities from Lebanon to work in the Gulf region, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, where I painted palaces, and great interior designer in Lebanon gave me opportunities to do commercial, residential projects. So like 5 years ago, there was a little bit less work, and my children moved out of Lebanon. They left to Australia, so I was left by myself in Lebanon. At that time, I got great opportunities to paint a church. I was asked to paint, to refurbish a church, and it was in 2015.
In which city?
In Beirut, in 2003, out of Beirut, in the mountain, in a monastery, to refurbish a church. And while working with my team and my workers, and while we were scraping the walls under many layers of paint, we discovered 300 years old frescoes.
Wow.
So I had the chance to do this project. I did it free by conviction and because it was my dream to do that, to paint churches actually. Then the monastery asked me to paint their lounges, and I kept working for them and with them. Slowly, I lost the interest into the commercial projects where they were too profane and too commercial and too materialistic. My faith started to grow again, although I'm like Christian educated. And then at that time, yeah, my children left me, so I went for a pilgrimage in Bosnia, in Medjugorje.
Okay.
At that time, and I had a revelation. I actually had a vision. I saw Jesus Christ and I saw Virgin Mary during this pilgrimage. And I came back to Lebanon completely confused, bouleversé, I don't know in English, like
disoriented.
And I started searching what was the real meaning of my life. And for 2 years I got lost. I didn't want to work anymore in commercial projects. And my faith grew and grew and grew. And slowly I lost interest in my work. And
in the commercial
work, and I didn't have any project.
Okay.
Like my
because you were researching yourself
yes,
again.
Yes. And so a year ago I came back to Lebanon because I was erring between the States, between Australia, between Europe, not working at all. Then I came back to Lebanon a year ago, and I started to work for the monastery again. And then came COVID 2019. It's a very short version of my the last 5 years of my life. So then came COVID, and during the confinement, I was watching the movie Jesus of Nazareth of Zeffirelli, starring Robert. I forgot his name. And then I had a flash, and I just had a vision of my first painting, which is Jesus of Nazareth 1. And it was just like obvious that I had to paint him. And the next day I went to buy the canvas, and this was the beginning of my inspiration. I have to say that it's linked to the faith and to the strong faith, that is the presence of strong faith in Lebanon. Because at every corner there is a church, every corner there is a monastery, and Lebanese people have this
strong connection with religion.
Yes. And it's a carrefour of religions and of tolerance as well. And all of these religions live all together.
Wow.
So we have to respect that, and this is a big, I think Lebanon has a lot to contribute all around the world with this, and because it's a big example.
Of coexisting
Yes,
cultures together.
So about my technique, I just started to paint as it was coming, with bronze, with paper, with glue. We call it mixed media, of course.
We call it mixed media, but it looks a lot, all your experience.
Yes.
That you did working in the monastery, in churches, because they are excellent, they are super well done, and yes, watching the artworks from a distance of several meters or close to the artworks, they look amazing. Congratulations for your
thank you.
Technique and way of creating these works.
Actually, I wanted to keep it rough, and in all these religious images, I wanted to show the rough part of Jesus' life and how he fought and is still fighting for us.
And so you created all these works during COVID period?
Yes, I have some other, but I've set only 5. Hopefully I will exhibit them soon.
So it was for you a big revelation.
It was a huge revelation. I have to say that today all my prayers are going for Lebanon. They are enduring a very hard time politically, economically. And it's really hard for me because it's a country that I love. And all my prayers are for this country. And I hope they will soon get rid of their corrupted politician, because this country doesn't deserve that. And especially the Lebanese people don't deserve that at all. And this is really...
You feel it?
Yes, I have to say it.
What is your research now? You are still working on these subjects, or you are thinking to explore something more?
Actually, I still have a lot of paints like in this subject, but I might with the future add some civil people in my paintings. I'm planning to be more politically. I want to disturb a little bit more politically because of the loss of faith, because of the loss of value in this world in 2020. And I want also to express the Christian being persecuted all around the world. Like in Iraq, like in Syria, we don't talk about it, but it's an everyday subject. And the example is the Cathedral of Hagia Sophia in Istanbul.
In Istanbul, yes.
And I have to say that I'm quite upset about that. And I'm working on this kind of subjects.
Wow, congratulations.
It might be a little bit.
No. When you move in culture, you can only open the mind of visitors and people who will see your works. Usually, art, contemporary and an artist have the responsibility and the role to express and teach to the masses.
Yes, I went into modern art because, of course, my formation is classical, and painting frescoes and churches is too classic, and also the representation of the Virgin Mary, of all the holy figures, is always classic. And I want, maybe for the young generation who have the faith, who have the Christian faith, to appreciate Jesus and Mary in a modern presentation, modern contemporary way.
Thank you very much for this conversation.
Thank you so much.
I'm pleased to have you here and enjoy your stay in Venice.